Hello everyone, it's Enigma here, and today we only have 5 days left until Nintendo's E3 2019 showcase. We are at the home stretch now. The amount of days that has just gone by is the same number of days that we have left until Nintendo's E3, and I cannot wait. I cannot stress enough how excited I am that we can finally see what Nintendo has to show off for their E3 2019 Nintendo Direct. But today, I'm going to be talking about a game that I'm actually very much anticipating. I'm so excited for this game. It's going to be so much hype. And that is, of course, Luigi's Mansion 3. Now, I've heard a lot of mixed opinions about this title. You know, a lot of people are saying that it might be a mix between the first Luigi's Mansion and Dark Moon. And there's a lot of criticism. If you look deep online, there's a lot of people that aren't a fan of Dark Moon. So a lot of people really don't want this game to be like Dark Moon. They want like a sequel to the GameCube game. And I'm gonna be honest here. I don't really mind Dark Moon. I mean, I do prefer the GameCube version over Dark Moon. Like, of course, I prefer the original Luigi's Mansion over Dark Moon. But I do not think Dark Moon was a bad game by any means. I had a lot of fun with it, and it was so good. I had a lot of fun with Dark Moon. But even then, I do kind of prefer the original Luigi's Mansion 1, over Dark Moon. And, you know, there's a lot of stuff that about this game that, you know, makes me worry a bit, but at the same time, you know, I think, you know, they might be doing, you know, that's why today I'm going to be talking about my hopes and expectations for Luigi's Mansion 3. I listed 5 things that I want more than anything, and I really hope this stuff comes true, because, you know, these expectations aren't really that crazy. I'm gonna start with the most obvious one. Bring back the Portrait Ghost! Why did they remove the Portrait Ghost from Luigi's Mansion 1 on the GameCube? Why did they remove these? These were one of, if not the best feature of Luigi's Mansion 1, and this was one of the many things from the very first Luigi's Mansion game that really stuck out to people, and, you know, something that, you know, was really important to the story. Like, portrait ghosts were really important to the first Luigi's Mansion, and it was a crime not to have them appear in Dark Moon. Portrait Ghosts, I feel like bosses were the replacement for Portrait Ghosts, because in Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon, you know, they had these bosses that would happen at the end of each mansion. But Portrait Ghosts, they gotta bring back Portrait Ghosts. I'd rather have that than just bosses. You know, I really want Portrait Ghosts to be back, and I just really hope that, you know, Portrait Ghosts are back, and Nintendo has heard the criticisms about Dark Moon. Like, why would they not include Portrait Ghosts? Like, these are one of the most important factors of the first Luigi's Mansion game. It was such a crime not having them in Dark Moon. So I really hope that they learn their lesson, and that they will include these in Luigi's Mansion 3. They got to be here. It was just crazy when they weren't in the game. It was just, my god, man. My next hope that, you know, I want, that I actually do think might actually be in the game, is that I want this to be one huge mansion, not multiple. Now, unlike the Portrait Ghost, you know, issue, I didn't really mind having multiple mansions, because it was nice to explore, you know, multiple mansions. But the way that Dark Moon handled it was just not that great, in my opinion, because, you know, some of the new mansions didn't even feel like mansions, and it was just kind of, you know, gimmicky in a way. But if they have one huge mansion, you know, it's a way to explore, you know, the entire mansion. You know, it should stay, you know, one mansion. You know, it kind of goes with the theme of, you know, this one creepy mansion. You know, I just wasn't really a huge fan of the multiple mansions, but, you know, I wasn't against it either. But if I were to prefer one huge mansion over multiple, I'm gonna have to go with One Huge Mansion. The reason why I think this might be in Luigi's Mansion 3 is because if you look at the final image of when they showed the, 2019 Luigi's Mansion 3, um, in the background there's like this huge mansion. It's like a tower long. So maybe it is back to one huge mansion and you just go and explore. I really hope that's the case, because the multiple mansions just felt overwhelming. It just wasn't really that great. I wasn't against it, like I said, but I would rather prefer one huge mansion. It's just better for exploration purposes. And it really feels like, this creepy mansion in this forest setting. It just really, makes the lead up, more important. Um, Next up, do not make this game mission-based. I was not a big fan of how they structured Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon. I feel like Dark Moon could have been a lot better if they weren't structured as missions, because it doesn't really feel like exploration. It just felt like you're doing a simple task, then you're taken out. And that's one of the many things why I didn't really like Dark Moon as much as the first Luigi's Mansion, because it just did not feel like exploration. The way you traversed in the first Luigi's Mansion is that you would get a key, and you would get keys by doing certain tasks from that. And then you would have a boss, and then you will open a boss door or key, and then you'll be open up to other areas in the mansion that you could not access before. And that was actually a genius move, because it's the build up that's important. It builds you up to this grand adventure until you're at the very top of the mansion, and then you see King Boo, and then you're fighting him, and it was such a great lead up. And that's why Luigi's Mansion is one of my favorite games of all time, because it just has a lot of suspension in the game. And I just really hope Luigi's Mansion 3 is not mission-based. I really hope that in this game you just go and explore and see what the mansion has, instead of, getting taken out like every 5 seconds. I just would rather prefer, just not having a mission based and more of this game being an exploration based. Like, I just don't think Luigi's Mansion is the series where you have to have like, tasks and missions. You should just have tasks in the game itself, where, you're not taken out of a level Mario 64 style. You just keep going on. Like, it's just kind of stupid how you're just taken out of after you do a certain task. It's just kind of anyways, my next thing might be a bit minor, but I kind of, this is one of the rare things I kind of agree with the bit block on, is that, yeah, they need to turn the lights off on this game. The game just felt really bright, and I'm not really one that really cares about visuals that much, unless it's like really noticeable, like Luigi's Mansion 3. Like, I think this is pretty noticeable, and I feel like they should like turn the lights off a bit, because it really felt like it was in a bright area. It didn't really feel creepy at all. So I really hope that in the final version it's a lot darker, and it feels a little more creepy. I just think that that will make the game a lot, fun and interesting, and it'll actually feel like this is a creepy mansion that, is just completely dark. And, it also makes sense because, Luigi has a flashlight, but he's holding a flashlight in a light room. That doesn't really make sense, and I really hope that if they turn the lights off, it'll actually make much more of a sense for Luigi to hold the flashlight. I just really hope that, this is in the game. I really hope that in the final version they do, make the lights a bit darker, and, it's a bit more grotesque, and, well, not grotesque, but darker as a game. My last hope is that I hope that there's like some online multiplayer. Nintendo has been doing this a lot with their games. Pokemon Sword and Shield recently got online multiplayer announced for the game a few hours ago in the Pokemon Direct. And same with Mario Maker 2, that's also getting online multiplayer. I think Luigi's Mansion 3 could do a similar thing. Because as you saw in one of the trailers, there was an icon that had Luigi, Mario, Toad, and Peach. What if you play as those characters in online multiplayer, and then you can use these characters and do certain tasks, and like, I don't know, it's kind of similar to Mario Maker 2, where the one that completes a certain task, wins, like a certain, like, that I feel like could be great for a mission structure. Like, have the main game be exploration based, where online multiplayer could be something like mission based, where you do a certain task and then see who the winner is. That I think would actually be cool. Either that or have something like online multiplayer where the more ghosts you suck up, you win. Like the person with the most ghosts suck up, they win the match. Something like that. This could be where missions come in, and that's where where the competitiveness of the game comes in. I think that could be a great way. So if Next Level Games wants to have a mission structure, they should at least have it into the online multiplayer instead of the main game. Have the main game be more exploration based, but have the online. I think the online multiplayer would actually fit for a mission structure, or a competitively challenging mode where the more ghosts you suck up, the winner of the match it is. So I just think that would be really fun, and I would spend a lot of time with that. I think that actually sounds like a really fun idea, and I actually really hope they do that. I think that's really fun. But yeah, that's really all of my hopes and expectations for Luigi's Mansion 3. So anyways, what do you guys hope and expect for Luigi's Mansion 3? Let me know in the comments down below, and I would love to hear it. Anyways, this has been Enigma, and peace. See you next time.